Hello, everyone. Today, as requested, we are going to do some in-text citation. Okay, so that's the main topic for this lesson. So when we are talking about in-text citation, we need to know why we need to learn about this. So the first reason is that you are going to take the UEE English exam to get into the NUS university. And NUS has a tradition of testing you for just 90 minutes. You have to read a text which is around 1,000 or less words. Okay, so it's around 1,000 words or less. And then you need to answer a prompt based on this reading text. And in that prompt, in writing to respond to that prompt, you need to, of course, use several pieces of or items of information withdrawn from the text. So while you are using that, you need to acknowledge the source. If not, you will violate plagiarism. Okay, so this is the purpose of learning in-text citation. So let's get started into the two NUS paper that we already went through. Okay, so this is the NUS test one paper that we already did. I think it was 2 weeks ago, right? So the prompt is this, as you all know, and this is a text. And the most important part that many of you might miss would be this part. Okay, so I recommend the first thing doing an NUS paper is to look at the source. Okay, you have 1, 2, 3 people together writing this article. So this is the source that we need to look at. Okay, same way for NUS test 2, you scroll down all the way and you will see this part. Don't you? Okay, so these are the main paper for you. And so look at this. Okay, we will analyze this part first, and then we will look at how to do in-text citation. Okay, so you will look at the first source. Okay, for your first NUS paper. So how do you understand this part? This is the first part of the adapted from part. So Lahart, comma, J, dot. Okay, so what does it mean? So look at this. You will need to notice. I will make a note here. For you, you will need to just write down. Okay, so Lahart, comma, J, dot. And then you comma the next. Okay, so this part shows one of the 3 authors, 3 co-authors. Okay, and Lahart is the first that come, but actually it's the last name. So Lahart is actually the last name of the first co-author. Okay, so Lahart is the last name. Okay, and J is the initial of the first name. So let's say, for example, you have this person's name is Lahart, Jennifer Lahart. Okay, so Jennifer Lahart, Jennifer is the first name. and Lahart is the last name. Or you might have this person as Joan Lahart. So you never know. You never know their first name, but you will always be able to know their last name through this part. Okay. And later you will know that you just need to know their last name to make a proper in-text citation. So for example, for a Vietnamese name, you have you have Phương Phương Nguyễn. Okay, and how do you how do you put into the adapted? What will you see from the adapted part? Okay, it will say Nguyễn, comma, P dot. So that's one person. So similarly here, you can recognize that there are three co-authors in this part. Okay, cool, understand? The next part here shows us the publishing date, month, and year. Okay. Okay. And then next part, you will see the title of the article. Okay. The original title. Okay. Inside here, let me scroll up a little bit. Sometimes this title might not necessarily be the same as this title. Okay, because you need to notice adapted from, okay, this word, this phrase. It means that it just adapt some information. So sometimes the text above is just an extract, okay, and the text, the original text is a full text, okay. And next you will look at the source of the text. The magazine or the journal, you know, the source, and retrieve from is like, you know, the link. So what you need to know is really to notice this. Okay, third part. Okay, and that's it. So now let's do some practice. Look at NUS paper 2. Well, this one actually is a paper that you haven't done before, but it's an NUS paper from last very few years. But you will see Griffiths S. Okay, 2015 June 29. So this article is written by just one author. There are no other co-authors. Okay, and his or her last name is Griffiths. His or her first name is start with S. Okay, or it can be Sandra, it can be Sonder, anything that start with S will do. Publishing date, month, year, or year, month, date. And then you see this is the original text title, okay, until here, okay. You might need to be very doubtful to compare the two text title here. Okay, this is artificial intelligence, and the under here is also artificial intelligence. Robot could wipe out humanity by accident, claims expert. So very important that you look at this. Okay, because sometimes you might depend too much on the name of the text, the title of the text, but actually the text above is just an extract. Okay, so very, very careful. So for example, the original title of this text is like 9 secrets to success. But the above, the actual reading text that you have to read in an NUS paper comes as like some secret to success. And they might just be just an extract of the first 3 secret. So you have to be very careful not to rely so much on this this title. Okay. Again, so you are familiar with this part, adapted from. So let's look at some examples of, let's learn the basic. Let's learn the basic first, okay? I will share a new screen for you to learn the basic. So we are coming back to this whiteboard screen. So just now, we already know about what are the parts of the adapted from section in an NUS paper, okay? So you know how to analyze that part. What does it mean? Okay, next one. So with those parts that you'll just analyze, what are the most important part that you will use in your in-text citation? So that comes the second important part of today's lesson, which is the three components, okay, of an in-text citation. And here I would say NUS, an NUS in-text citation. I would say just an NUS in-text citation because if after, like, once you get into the university, especially university overseas, it's a tradition, it's a common thing, it's a norm that you have to do in-text citation whenever you do research paper. And there's a lot of other rules that you have to learn, you have to adopt in your research paper. But here, in this special course, just for the UEE exam, I am choosing the most essential knowledge that you have to learn because we don't have time. Number one, we don't have time. And number two, we just don't need it yet. Okay, so it's more useful and convenient that way. So three components of an NUS in-text citation. Okay, the first one, number one, you have to have the author's last name. The author's last name. Where do you get it? It's the first part listed in the adapted from section, right? So that's the first part, okay? The second component that any NUS in-text citation needs would be publishing year. You just need the year. You don't need month and date, okay? You don't need month and date. You just need the year. Same here, you just need the last name. Okay, full last name, write it in full. And the last part would be where you take the info from in the reading text. So for example, you get it from the first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph, and so on. So it will be, where do I take the information from? Where? So it's normally always for an NUS UEE paper that you're writing, you just write the paragraph number. Okay, so here are the three components. These two, very easy to get. You get it from the adapted from section. The third one is a flexible one. It depends on where you get the information. So let's say you get the information from paragraph number 8. Okay, you would need to write para 8. Okay, so how are they presented in an in-text citation? I will give you examples. Okay, so let's analyze whether each in-text citation contain the sufficient three components. Okay, so I will give you some examples right now in real students exam mock test. Okay, so just a minute. So this is an example of a mock test paper that I designed last year. So we will come straight to the adapted from part. Okay, let's make some quick review. Lane C. So the last name we are using is just Lane. And then the publishing time, you just use 2019. And you will see here why electric cars still don't live up to the hype. This is the original title of the reading text, but you might need to see, yeah, they take the original one. Okay, so remember those important part. You will just look at an example of a student's essay. Here, our job right now is just to recognize whether whenever he or she, whenever this candidate mention any information from the text, does she or he include all the three components in each in-text citation? Okay, so let's see. According to Lane, so this is the last name, okay, like family name. It's easier to say that way. 2019, that's the year. Okay, so two components. So the third component, yes, 1/6 or 1/5 of this. So this is the information that the candidate, the student, take from the text. And para number 2, that's where the information is taken inside the text. So this part contain all the three components. Okay, let's look at another example. Remember here, we are just seeing whether each of the in-text citation contains enough three components. First, how can we write that down? We will learn in lesson number 2. Clear? Okay, so look at this. Here, second sentence, that means that the second time that the student mentioned some information taken from the text. Lane again, 2019, and para number 3. And you might see that it's very, very neat, like very organized if you just follow the order. Okay. You will mention the family name first, and then the year, and then the para. Okay. You might organize it a little bit differently. I will teach you later. Next part, because you know that normally in an NUS paper, we should summarize, or sometimes we are directly asked to do some summary. So that summary part often contains in-text citation almost throughout, because that's the part that you take all the information. The information in that part are almost all taken from the text. Okay. Same here, Lane, 2019, para 4. Okay. Same here, Lane, 2019, para 5. Okay. Here's a little bit different. You see, according to Lane, family name, 2019, Chevrolet stopped producing Volt, a plug-in hybrid, because of the 8-year or something. Here, there seems to be a lack of the third component, which is a para. Okay. Yes, there seems to be a lack of, especially this is a very, very detailed information. It's not, yeah, it's not like a total spirit of the entire reading. So whenever you do any information citing, you need to to mention all the three components. Okay. One last example. Let's look at this again. According to Lane 2019, you see the first solution, see, para 4. So yes, so if you are able to do this, at least your language component is secured for a while. Okay. So make sure you are good with in-text citation. This is just the basic 3 components of in-text citation. Okay, so I will give a lesson number 2 next time. Okay, that's all the time that I have for tonight to give you some positive start. Okay, have a good night or have a good time, good day, wherever you are. And looking forward to give you lesson number 2 on in-text citation. That's it.